there are some thoughts I need to express. So I was just reading the third book of the Enlightenment trilogy by Jed McKenna, Spiritual Warfare. I'm towards the end of it, and just this one chapter it's just fucking hit me, man. It's about death. I don't know. Basically, it's like, I've been interested in like spirituality for a few years now. Trying to fucking be free, trying to fucking, become enlightened or be mindful and like liberate myself from suffering and all this kind of stuff, doing all these kinds of spiritual practices, get into all this spiritual marketplace, and it all comes down to the fact of like, do you actually want to wake up? Do you actually want to stop fucking about and sleepwalking through life? Do you want to fucking wake up and start living your life moment by moment, appreciating it? And the majority of the time, for most people on a spiritual path, it's just another way for them to avoid life. It's another way for them to put themselves to sleep. It's another lullaby that they sing to themselves to be put to sleep. A lot of people say they want to be enlightened, they want to end suffering, they want to be liberated from bondage, but it's not an authentic desire. And it's what I've been questioning. It's like, fuck, I don't know what I want. Am I just a tourist in the spiritual marketplace? Or am I actually dedicated to this? Do I actually want to fucking wake up? And I don't know if I am. But then, begs the question, it's like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? The thing is like, no spiritual practice will come close to the one of practicing being aware of your own mortality. That's all it is. That's the only spiritual practice you need. If you want to stop fucking about, get serious. If you want to awaken, or whatever it is you want to do, if you want to live life to the fullest, then you have to consider death. And not in the abstract, not in the conceptual, in the actual matter of fact. You have to face death in the eyes. And how do you do this? Well, many ways, but like, contemplate it. Contemplate your own mortality. Contemplate that you're going to die. And not in the abstract way, and then just be like done with it, like, oh yeah, that was a fun little concept game to play. Like, this is legit. And it's hard to think about because we're avoiding it in every fucking moment of our waking life. Always avoiding death. We just go about life sleepwalking, just wading through this grey sludge of blah that we call life, but it doesn't have to be that way. We live in a culture and a society that pushes death under the rug, that doesn't acknowledge it. that turns away from it, that is afraid of it. What we must do is contemplate our own mortality. We have to ask ourselves the question honestly and earnestly and sincerely, why shouldn't I kill myself right now? Why shouldn't I commit suicide? Why shouldn't I just jump off a bridge? Why? And people think that's absurd to even ask. It's like, well, that's obvious. It's obvious why I wouldn't kill myself right now. But it's not. That's the first question that you should be asking. That's the first question, first and foremost. Nothing else matters until you've fucking mastered this question. And this is what I'm figuring out now. I've been walking through the fucking spiritual marketplace, just sleepwalking, thinking I'm making progress or something. You know, I've gotten into states of like God consciousness and eternity and infinity and things like this. And that's just games for the ego. Like, of course the ego loves to get into states of like God consciousness and like eternity because it wants to fucking live forever. It's like, oh, I'm consciousness. Consciousness is the one eternal thing that is forever and infinite and is everything. I'm one with everything. It's just classic spiritual thing, and you know, that's all great, but like, where does it get you? I've been on this like journey of trying to be everything always, but I feel now I've got to be nothing. Never. Been trying to be everything, and I've tried to be eternal. Now it's time to try and be nothing and die. Suicide needs to be contemplated. The thing is, like, I think a lot of people think this is kind of a morbid thing to think about, like suicide and death and all this kind of shit. It's like, why are you talking about that? It's morbid. It's not great. But you know, like, you can only be truly happy if you get past death. If you befriend death, that's the only way that you're gonna be happy. You know. Definitely feels like that. If we can't even consider ending our own life, then whose life is it? You know? Is this not our own life to decide what we do with it? Is this not my life to decide what I want to do with it? If I want to kill myself, that's up to me. And if I have all these thoughts saying, you can't be doing that, think of all the consequences, like, this is not good, you can't just kill yourself. If all those thoughts stop me, if all those voices in my head stop me from killing myself, then it's quite obvious that this was never fucking my life. This is not my life. I don't have the choice in anything. These voices of other people in my head are fucking dictating my life. This is not my life that I'm living. And I'm definitely not saying kill yourself, and I'm definitely not saying I'm going to kill myself. I never will. All I'm saying is you need to we need to ponder upon this in an honest way. Why shouldn't I kill myself? Why should I live? Why should I live? And this is actually not a nihilistic, pessimistic thing to ask. Why shouldn't I kill myself? Why should I live? This is actually the most life-affirming thing that you can ever ask yourself. Because you will find reasons. That's the thing. It's not just like, why should I live? Why shouldn't I kill myself? Oh, there's no reasons. Okay, I guess I'll die then. You will find reasons. Life is fucking beautiful. Life is magical. But you can only know that when you really consider your death and you let death be with you in every moment. You befriend death and are ready to die in every moment. When you're happy to die today, that day will be the happiest day of your life. When you can truly say to yourself, you know what? I could die today, and I would feel satisfied. And if that is a consistent thought that accompanies you throughout the rest of your life, then that is something that you've achieved. That's happiness right there. To live every day as if it's your last is true happiness and true freedom. But it's more than just an abstract concept. Way fucking more. And I'm only talking about it in abstract concept way because this is a very fucking tough thing. It's a difficult thing. Nobody's doing this. Like I said, everyone's just fucking sleepwalking through life. Nobody actually wants to fucking wake up and live and be free. And neither do I. But everybody wants this, but everybody avoids it. It's paradoxical. You know, I want to be awake. I want to fucking live. But at the same time, this sleep state, this dream state is comfortable and it's soothing and it's nice. But it's, like I said, it's this fucking grey sludge you just fucking going through each day, and it's, when am I gonna fucking wake up? When am I gonna fucking see that I can't keep living like this? Remember that you have to die. Remember that you will die. And don't think about this conceptually. I mean, this is the only way that you can think about it, but don't think about it as like something that will happen in the future when you're like 80 years old, and by that time you'll be all fucking soft in the head and you won't really care if you die or not. No, death can fucking happen in any moment. That's what I'm saying, is that you've got to come to terms with death, and you have to let death stand right next to you in every moment of your waking life. You have to hold death's hand everywhere you go. When the fuck am I going to see this? When the fuck am... And it's like, do I want this? Like I said, it's very comfortable sleeping. Do I actually want to awaken? And if not, then I've got to fucking ditch all this bullshit spiritual practice and reading all these spiritual books and all this and thinking about all these spiritual concepts. That's fucking shit's got to go, because it's all bullshit. I know it. There's no point in reading spiritual literature, watching spiritual videos, thinking about spiritual things if death is not at the forefront of my mind. There's no fucking point. If spirituality isn't about death, then what the fuck is it about? If it isn't about befriending death, then what the fuck is it about?